Welcome back to Nothing But Nets. I am joined with my co-host, Everything BK Nets, John. We got a lot to get into today, John. Let's introduce yourself and then let's just get started because we could go on for hours today.
All I gotta say is buckle up, everybody. It's gonna be a fun one. Gary, always great to talk fun basketball with you. To anybody who wants to talk fun basketball with me, follow me on my Twitter at OS91413John. I've done work on BKY Hoop Show, Breezy's podcast, Dylan's BK Network Pod, and Gary's Nothing But Nets because I'm everything BK Nets John. And yeah, guys, we're gonna get into it, so enjoy the ride because this is definitely gonna be a bumpy one.
All right, let's start with the game. The game was an unmitigated disaster. I'm all for winning, but not like that. Again, almost a replay of what we saw a couple nights ago in Orlando. They were up 22. They were up 22 with 7 minutes left. And then they don't score another field goal the rest of the way. They can't do anything. Cam Thomas goes cold. They can't score at all the final 7 minutes. But Jalen Wilson hits a pair of clutch free throws to win. This is unacceptable, John. This is 2 days in a row. First of all, it shows that the other teams aren't trying until the fourth quarter. Because as soon as they start trying, they shut the Nets down. Like, entirely. Not hold them to poor shooting. I mean, hold them to zero. Nothing. The Nets couldn't score a basket the last 7. All they needed was one basket the last 7 minutes, and they win the game. And they couldn't do it. And they had to get bailed out with a couple of free throws. I have some thoughts on the game, but just quickly, your thoughts. Start with the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, up by 22. Your thoughts on that? And then Milwaukee goes on a 22-0 run. Give me your thoughts on that.
I'm thinking, when is Jordy going to rest all the guys and leave the young guys out there to lose that lead and eventually bottom out like he did against the Magic game? But the thing is this, the Nets, the season's been so weird so far. Some nights they look like they know what they're doing, then other nights they look like a great, well-oiled machine team. But like you said, with the Magic game, it felt like we had a big lead. Eventually, we were going to blow it. And going into that fourth quarter, we were only up by like 9, but the Nets just keep fighting back. And the thing is this, the Bucks are just way worse with their team. You think about it, it felt like we was like 5-on-1 against Giannis last night. I mean, we were beating that team badly, and Giannis was like the only guy who put up a fight. He was literally had 4 guys guarding him under the rim for him to score to keep the Bucks in it. So you think about it, the Nets kind of did what they had to do with that Bucks pick, right? They won 3 out of 4. They kind of took fate in the hands with that pick. If the Bucks are around the 2 to 3 or 4 games above 500, that pick might work out in our favor in the draft. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, it was definitely a wild roller coaster game. I mean, Cam Thomas, again, this kid is just playing phenomenal. 24 points off the bench. He had those whoa bucket moments. Cam Johnson, another easy 26. D'Lo, 12 assists. This guy's had over 20 assists in 2 games. Not to mention him and Nick Claxton have a little chemistry thing going on. Claxton gave you another 16-point effort tonight. So this team, even with removing pieces, they're still playing well because Jordy's playing on a different level as a coach, and these pieces are still somehow working, and you got another win by the skin of your teeth. But people are now wondering, why are we fighting for these wins when we're already out of the play-in? It's confusing right now.
Professional athletes, John. D'Angelo Russell, Nick Claxton, those guys, Jordy Fernandez for sure, they want to win these games. Like, doing this 2 nights out of 3 and getting blown out by Toronto in the middle is absolutely and utterly embarrassing for them. You want to blow a 20-point fourth quarter lead to Orlando, get blown out by Toronto, and then blow a 20-point fourth quarter lead to Milwaukee if you're a professional athlete? You don't want to do that. You want to win. Now, it's so frustrating, right? Because I don't understand. First of all, we're going to get to I want to say on the Bucks thing. If you beat the Bucks and you're the Nets and you just beat them wire to wire, that's embarrassing for them.
Right.
But to do what you did, to let them all the way back in and let them tie the game, now you've given them like life, and you say, okay, look, guys, we just got to play a little harder, and we beat this team. Like, we literally have to start 1 minute earlier with our defense, pick up the intensity, and we obviously beat this team. So if you want to get Giannis, that wasn't the night to do it, because Giannis probably doesn't feel that bad about yesterday. He just has to kick the guys in the ass and say, hey, play harder for 5 extra minutes, and we rout this team. If you just blow them out, like they were just blowing them out through 3.5 quarters, if you just do that, you could implode that night. If you get blown out by the Nets on your home court, that's it. Giannis might have demanded out that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that could have went wrong for the Nets went wrong last night. We're going to get into Ace Bailey, who was and now we're losing out on that too. Like we might as well try for the play-in because that's out of reach now. We're not getting that because of wins like this. So what were your thoughts on that? I mean, was yesterday – did everything go wrong for the Brooklyn Nets yesterday? From winning the game to how they won the game to CJ getting hurt to Amari Bailey being the next freaking Tracy McGrady last night. Did everything go wrong for the Nets last night?
Well, let's touch on that too. Right at the end of the game, we lost potentially, thank gosh they're not severe injuries, but we potentially lost our two best trade assets in D'Lo to cramps. The way he looked, I thought he hyperextended his knee the way he got it carried out.
It's
but they just said
cramps.
it's cramps,
Yeah,
but he'll
be
likely be
right.
back. But Johnson, he stepped on Zaire's foot and twisted his ankle, and I heard he got x-rays negative, but he's on crutches, and he's likely going to be out maybe 1 or 2 weeks, maybe all the way up to the deadline. And now you're like, we're on a haywire again. Just when it felt like we had a perfect opportunity to trade Johnson, now you're banking on Johnson getting healthy around the deadline and for a team to still give you a similar offer to what you're hoping for. I think you'll still get that offer. Because think about this, Johnson, he's dropped over 100 three-pointers this season. He had 60 a night. He's playing phenomenally this season. I think he's still going to get good value, but now it's like, why is he playing in fourth quarter minutes when he should be resting and being ready to get traded to a different team? Now he's hurt. Now you have to worry about, the Kings, OKC potentially lowering their offers now, and the goal is to get a good deal back for him. So I don't know how that's going to go, but it could have went a lot worse for Sean Marks last night. If both those guys went down with severe injuries, Gary, our trade deadline plans would have been blown to hell. We got lucky last night, but now it's like we got to get our bearings straight. Just like you said, it's so confusing. Some nights it feels like we know what's going on. When they rested Cam Thomas the other night against the Raptors, to me that felt like Jordy was finally embracing the tank. You could have played Thomas the other night against the Raptors, but if we beat the Raptors, we're making their draft odds better. So resting him, in my eyes, was very strategic. But now in this game, we're beating the Bucks. And the thing is this, we had a big point lead, like you said, but now you allow them to come back, but then we're still fighting. Like, what is our direction here? Do we want to win games just to win games to be competitive, or do we want to do this strategically? It just seems like Sean Marks and Joe Desai want everything in the middle. They want to lose to get a top pick, but they want to win to be attractive to stars. You can't have your cake and eat it too, because most teams that try to stay in the middle rarely ever get exactly all that they want. And that's the worry right now, because I don't know what the direction this team wants to go. You and I know.
That's my point. It's time to make a decision, right? Because this what we're doing right now, where you're putting out the worst team in the NBA every night and you're losing. Here's another thing I want to address. What are we doing with Cam Thomas? Either Cam Thomas is healthy and he should be playing 35 minutes a game and starting, or if he's not 100%, if he's 99%, sit him till he's 100%. Like, this thing that we're doing where he's going to rest every other game and play 22 minutes a game tells me he's not healthy. If Cam Thomas is not healthy, why is he playing at all, John?
The crazy thing is he is healthy. I just think the other game was
playing him the 35 minutes a game. Like, I don't
right. But here's the thing, though.
If he, I know the only thing you could do to rest it. If it's not healthy, if he's not fully healthy, don't play him any minutes.
Yeah, but the thing,
fully healthy, play him 35 minutes.
The thing is this, we're in such a mess with his situation. He wants to play every game now to get his bag. He's competing for a contract. He's only had one good month, and he missed the month. Now he wants to play every game, but now it's like we're trying to figure out who we're trading, where our direction is, and Thomas wants to play. And here's another thing. If you have Thomas off the bench and you have D'Lo starting, or if you have D'Lo on the bench and Thomas starting, that's still a great formula. You have two little offensive pieces still playing at high levels. That makes our chances to lose games even worse. So even if you start them, maybe that will backfire in our face. Not on the defensive end, but offensively, I told you, Gary, a few days ago that this team could still win games with those two guys. And last night they kicked the Bucks' ass. Like this is the scary thing.
36 for what is it? For 42 minutes, and then the last 6 minutes it was embarrassing. Yeah. They can't even get a decent shot off. It's embarrassing for the others, because you could do this to the Nets whenever you wanted to. You just play with no intensity and let them in the game. Like that's the guy's honest truth. Is these other teams just aren't playing with any intensity, because as soon as they do, the Nets can't even get a shot off. They can't even get a decent shot off. And you see to get 22-0 run. 22-0 run in crunch time. You couldn't get a free throw, a layup, a putback. It's like the varsity team playing the preschool team. That's really what it looks like. It's like that, but the Nets are still winning games. That just shows a complete lack of intensity from teams like Orlando and teams like Milwaukee, because they could blow the Nets out whenever they want to. They just don't care to.
Right, and the problem is this,
how bad the Nets are. The Nets are so bad that they can't even get a shot off against a good defensive team. Not even a shot off.
And the worst thing is with tanking teams, they get out to big leads on some teams, and then that team usually comes back into it and wins the game. But for Brooklyn, that's happened a few times this season, but the Nets are still winning because Jordy, and we're going to get into this now, literally what we were talking about on different podcasts that Jordy told Marks when he signed, I was going to tank games. Marks literally said from Brian Lewis the other night that Jordy told me, I'm not going to tank, I'm going to win games. And you know what Sean Marks said to Jordy? Go for it. What type of GM says go for it when you have your own pick and you want to get a top 3 pick? Because look what Jordy's done in 2 months. We won over 10 games. We defied draft odds, win-loss odds. We pretty much defied every odd that was out there of us ever coming close to 10-plus wins. And now we're at 13. Like Sean Marks has to either be one of the most clueless GMs that ever existed, or he's a smart man. We all just don't know it because look what is going on. We are literally defying our own odds right now. I don't even know where that pick's going to end up based on what's going on here because Jordy wants to win. Marks now wants to lose, but he wants to win at the same time. Like, just like you said, there has to be a direction, but it seems like we're still stuck in the middle, and that might exist going all the way into summer right now.
After watching that implode, after watching the last 3 games, after watching them, and in that Orlando game, when they were up 20 points, whatever, or 17 points late in the fourth quarter, I was ready to call the tank off and say, let's just go. We're getting D'Lo tomorrow. Let's go. And then they did that. And then they got blown out by Toronto. And then this happened. This is the worst. This team is as bad as we thought it was. So I'm back all in on Team Tank. I'm one of the tank commanders again. This team is that bad. But now is it too late? Is it simply too late? I mean, you're so far ahead of Toronto and Charlotte and obviously Washington and Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, and New Orleans. Is there any hope in getting back in the bottom 5 teams to try to get a number 1, 2, or 3 pick? Or is that gone? Is that a fleeting illusion?
If you're in the play-in, it's probably like blowing up in smoke. But if you're 12 or 13, you're basically banking on you being in one of those ranking positions and the lottery balls going in your favor. But now it means we have to beat over 6 teams. If we're around the 7th worst team, you have to beat 6 other teams. Are we that lucky? Are we that lucky to get top 3? I know we're not going to get top 1. That would have to be like some type of, auspicious, divine wisdom. But top 2 or 3, you're banking on being better with your odds than 6 other teams. And that's what Marks is doing. You know what's crazy? Marks has had like more than 9 lives as a cat on this team. Look at what he's done. With 0 assets, he made a big 3. That failed. He probably should have been fired. Didn't. And then he basically turned Katie into Mikal into 31 picks. Like, this guy is playing with fire. Like, I don't know if Sean Marks doesn't have fear or knows what it is, but this guy plays like he can make gambles, and even if they blow up in his face, he'll still be here. On most other teams, Gary, Marks would have been fired already. Him saying this today should have everybody asking for his resignation. But in his mind, it's probably like, you know what? If we get a top pick through divine intervention and I get a Giannis on this team, it's all good. But it has to work in your favor. Not most people are that 100,000,000% confident. But the way Sean Marks is talking, it's like he is. And I don't know if that's good for us or very bad for us at the same time.
I want to get into this. Galileo, you could catch the Bulls that they sell, and even Detroit, given the Ivy injury. He's right. Everything is there for us to get that 10th spot, or at least make a run for it. If we can't, if getting a top 3 pick is now out of the question, we're not bad enough to have done that. Should we try to get that? Look, Jaden Ivey is hurt, so Pistons are going to sink like a stone. The Bulls might sell. We already know Charlotte and Toronto are tanking. Washington's the worst thing ever. If we just finish ahead of those teams, we make the play-in. Should they try to do that at this point? Is it too late to try to get a top 3 pick?
I still want to go into the play-in because I'm already talking about divine intervention. Being the play-in, you're basically playing Russian roulette to the 500th level degree because at that point, you're going to be in a playing spot, but your odds really go down. We're not going to do what the Hawks did. What the Hawks did last year was an anomaly, and that was a draft of mostly role players. Now you're talking about actual potential generational talent, and you want me to play in. Like, not most people are willing to gamble their future draft pick, their own pick, going in the play-in. But at this point, the way Jordy's going, he's going to make whatever's on this team somehow work, and that should make us all a little scared. Not for Jordy's future on this team, but for our draft odds. Our draft odds right now can either sink right now or they can magically go up if we're at 12 or 13. As long as we're out of the play-in, we have a shot. But if we keep winning games, you're also playing with risk of the same day with that too. And my thing is this. With Sean Marks, it's like he really doesn't know what he's doing half the time, but he tries to tell us he knows what's going on. Well, Sean, you want to go for a star, you want to tank, you don't want to tank, and you basically told Jordy to go for it. I mean, Gary, he gave him the green light to go for it, and he turned Dennis Schroeder into a 10-game winning all-star. And then Marks is like, well, Jordy, you definitely took the challenge to heart, but I got to trade Dennis. And he traded Dennis for even low budget offer. Like now most people are going, if we were going to get a star this whole time, why just sell so low on Dennis? Or hell, why did you have Dennis win 10 games? Like we weren't supposed to win 10 games, but Marks basically gave Jordy free reign. This is the problem with Sean Marks. Where's his backbone? He let the big three walk all over him. He let Mikal Bridges put his arm behind his shoulder to get traded to the Knicks. And Jordy, who's a first-time coach, he basically gave him free autonomy to not tank. Where's the red line, Gary, with Sean Marks? When are people going to tell him enough is enough? You got to grow with that.
Let me address this because it's a fair question. Sean Marks is an egomaniac who loves to be right. More than anything, he wants to be right. So if in his brain, if I can take this team, which everyone picked to win 18 games, the lowest win total projected since like 2004. If I can get that team into the play-in, I'm a goddamn genius. Like, look what I did. It doesn't do you any good, but he tried to get last year's team into the play-in by making trades and bringing on Spencer Dinwiddie's salary for another year. He just wants to be right. He wants to show that he's good at this. So he's willing to sacrifice everything to try to get one extra playing game at the end of the year, which you're going to get romped in. Like, that's what he's trying to do here. In his brain, I did good. I have the worst roster in the NBA. I hired the right coach. I made some right moves. And look, we're a playing team. I assessed these guys correctly. Keon Johnson, Tyrese Martin, these guys are better. And because of me, I saw it. I saw that Zaire Williams was good. And look, now we're a playing team. But what does that do for you? What is being the 10th? The Bulls get the 10th seed every year. What does it do for them?
Exactly, and that's my biggest worry. Because here's the thing: let's say that we keep going the way we are. Somehow we get top four through some divine intervention, and you go after Giannis. You're either going to do something very stupendous and shocking with a third gamble on the star route, and you maybe win a title. If not, you become the mediocre, middle-tier Chicago Bulls 2.0. And that's where it feels like we could go. Do we really want to be the Bulls right now? They're winning games where they should be tanking 2 or 3 years ago. But the thing is, we have 31 picks. We actually have a chance to tank for at least 2 years max. And I think beyond that, because we have assets and cap space to eventually contend at that point. But what Marks wants to do is only do it one time, go for a star, and then somehow contend for the next 2 to 3 years. There's so much risk there. You have 2 years. You have a 2-year net window to do it. But Marks doesn't want to use the net. He wants to get the pick, get the star, go for it, and let's see what happens. But at the end of the day, you have all these assets. Listen, give the guy a lot of credit. You turned 0 assets into Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. I don't think any other GM could have done that. So Marks has that to hang his hat on. But wait. At the end of the day, it didn't get you nowhere. It didn't get you nowhere. And they did a thing for Mikal Bridges and thought, hey, if that could be my Drew Holiday, I can get a Donovan Mitchell. Didn't go anywhere. And now you actually have 31 picks. You have the most picks in the East. You have Cam Thomas. You have a young guy who wants to be a star one day. So you have pieces. It's how can you get the next piece? Well, Marks wants to get that, but he doesn't want to do it the normal route. He wants to do it the competitive. I'm not going to tank. I want to be right. But here's the thing, though. You can only be right so many times, but if it doesn't get you an Eastern Conference finals appearance or a championship appearance, you're dead wrong.
I want to ask this. Jamal brings up a fair question. Do you think this might be Joe Tsai's idea to do this? Maybe. Joe Tsai is kind of quiet on basketball stuff, but look, Joe Tsai wants to pack out the arena. Joe Tsai wants to sell merchandise. Joe Tsai is a businessman, and tanking is bad for business, at least immediately. Right now, if we got Ace Bailey next year, that'd be great for business. But for this year, he wants to sell season tickets. He wants to sell merchandise. If the Nets make a play-in run, does that make it? It does. It makes them more money short term. Is it? I don't know.
It
Go
just
ahead,
feels
John.
like the goals aren't aligned. Like what Sean Marks wants, some of us from a dream perspective, we all want to win. I'll be honest with you, me, Garrett, and everybody, we all want to win for this team, but it's how you get there. We thought for this year and maybe next year, take the slow route. Boston Celtics, nobody's stopping them right now. Maybe the Cavs, if they could show you something in the playoffs, but nobody else really can stop them. Maybe OKC, but that's about it. For these next 2 years, we can actually build our young stars up the right way through drafting and then go for a star around 2027, 2028, something like that. But now Marks wants to go 2 to 3 years earlier, and there's so much risk there. You want to get top picks, you want to get stars, trying to get that all congealed together and make that work in 1 2 years. It rarely ever works. You can't just force chemistry. Look at the Suns. They tried to be like, you know what? New CBA be damned. I'm going to get Kevin Durant for Devin Booker. I'm going to get Bradley Beal because he sucked on the Wizards, but he can't suck any less on the Suns. Well, guess what? He sucks even worse on the Suns. Look at them right now. The most expensive team they are right now, and they're completely out of a play-in right now. I don't want us to be in that position. That's why if Giannis is the only guy you go after him. But if he goes after Jimmy Butler, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram with all that cap space, and we got really nothing to show for it, we screwed ourselves. Well, not us. Sean Marks did. And he's going to have to live with that because he wants to be right. Well, guess what? You have a chance to be right doing it a little long route, which I'm fine with. But if you go down the gamble route, you better hit, or else we are done again. And this
I
time
want to
even
get to this.
worse.
Jamal says money. Yeah. Like Dolan over with the Knicks had a laughing stock of an organization for 20 plus years. They were a joke. They were trash. They were garbage. But they were making money. They were making more money than any franchise in basketball. Like the three richest franchises for a long period of time was the Cowboys, the Yankees, and the Knicks. And they were terrible. They were a laughing stock. But does Dolan care? No, he's laughing all the way to the bank. Would he like to win? Sure. Is winning his goal? No, he's not a fan. He's the owner. His goal is to make money. So does he really care at the end of the day that the Knicks are a laughing stock? Not really, because I'm still rich. Is that where Josiah is? Like, I don't care if they win that much. Like, it would be nice if they did. I don't really care. I'd rather make money. I mean, he's the owner of the team. He's not a fan. It's a money-making operation for him. So
It's
yeah,
it's interesting because we don't even know where Joe stands. We had Sean Marks answer all those questions yesterday and give fans even more reason to be worried because he said, "Oh, we want to be flexible as possible with the draft picks, and it's not when we go after somebody, it's whom we go after." When you say whom, that means there's a star that you have your eye on. And I think I know who your is Zion, but the thing is this: what are the pieces going to be around that? Because we could speculate all day about that, but Sean Marks has shown us his biggest problem is building complementary pieces around your main guys. You had the Katie, Curry, and James thing, but the bench after that was atrocious. You had no real young talent to develop on that team. Like, we don't want to go back there, especially when we have a chance to get an advantage. The advantage is you got to draft young guys to be a part of veterans on a team to win a title. It can't just be all vets or it can't just be all young guys. You need the right mix. And I believe Marks wants a mix, but his problem is always getting the right pieces to fit. He usually gets a lot of wrong pieces that don't fit as well as they should. And there's more reason to be concerned with that. So going into right now, I don't know where we're going to wind up. But the thing is this, Sean Marks, he's playing a very dangerous game of Russian roulette. And the thing is this, if he fails with it, we lost our advantage. We have a chance right now to go down a little long route because we have the picks, we have the cap space. We're now the fourth richest market in the league area, $5.7 billion. And not to mention Liberty, who Joe Desai owns now, they just won a championship. Maybe he wants to build off of that high. But at the end of the day, you don't want to go super fast and lose your structure. We're actually starting to build a structure now. But if you go for a top pick and a star this summer, you're trying to put it all together in less than a year. Rarely does that ever work in less than a year.
I want to address this too. The Nets won yesterday. If I said to you the Nets are going to beat the Bucks, you would have said, okay, Cam Thomas and D'Lo, the two shot creators, they must have went off and cooked. Just to put that in perspective, between the two of them, they went 11 for 33 from the field and 2 for 15 from three. I'll say that again. Cam Thomas and D'Lo combined 11 for 33, 2 for 15 from three, and they won the game. They won the game with guys like Jalen Wilson and Keon Johnson. How does that happen, John?
Well, here's one thing. Brook Lopez only gave the Bucks 7 points, and Middleton gave them 12 points. Those are basically Giannis's two supporting stars. Well, not stars; they're basically serviceable role players now. But the thing is, this: the Bucks team is much older, whereas the Nets team is much younger. Also, the Bucks didn't have that AJ Green kid. That kid has been special for the Bucks. He's been like their little Joe Harris. Missing that kid, the Bucks basically didn't give you anything really last night till the end. So the thing about this younger Nets team is that Jordy has a bond with all these guys. They all want to work for him. They respect him. And he's telling them, I don't want you to lose. So Sean Marks has a message for everybody, but Jordy's basically saying, screw his message. I got a message for you. And that's the problem. It doesn't feel like there's a unified message on this team. It feels like there's guys that want to win for Jordy, guys that want to win for themselves, or guys that want to win for the future and themselves. But there's nobody that's saying we should all be getting a top pick. It's let the dice roll where they may. But that's just it. You're gambling everybody else's future, including your own, and that's a problem. And unfortunately, when you don't have a structure and everything is all lopsided and it's all a gamble, how could you ever feel secure about your team? We are basically on a tightrope right now, hoping that our draft odds will magically land where we want them to. And that's just such a risky game. But just like you said, too, Keon Johnson, that kid is now starting to become a bit of a problem. He's giving you points. He's starting to shoot like Peter Pan on the court. You saw that little shot he made the other night again? The Keon hasn't shown us that all season in his career. Now he's starting to show you fancy footwork, starting to hit his threes. And then you got Zaire. He came back too, giving you 8 points. His defense has been crazy this season. Did you see that block he had against Bobby Portis or somebody last night? Like these guys.
Zaire was really, really good. I
Yeah.
want to address this comment from Gara in the chat. They ice Cam Thomas though. He sat for like 30 minutes. Actual like clock time. Yeah, he sat for well over 30 minutes, which I don't understand. Through the first 2.5 quarters, he played a total of 8 minutes, and he absolutely cooked in those 8 minutes. And then they put him back in halfway through the third quarter. He played a little bit in the first quarter, a little bit in the second quarter. With 9.9 seconds left, the Nets had one possession left at the end of the half. They didn't put Cam in. I don't understand what Jordy's doing with this. He played 8 of the first 12, 24, 30 minutes of game time. He played 8 minutes. He sat, if you take halftime, it's 15 minutes. He sat the last 5 or 6 minutes of the second quarter and the first half of the third quarter. That's probably, I think Gara is underestimating. I think it's closer to an hour of actually sitting before going back in the game. What is he doing?
You know what the crazy thing is? We talk about Sean Marks' ulterior motives. This is Jordy. Even though he's trying to show us by resting Thomas the other day that he wants to now tank, he really doesn't. He's telling these other guys, if Thomas is resting, I want you guys to make up for his minutes and his points. And you know what? They somehow did by somehow not doing that. It's like with Jordy, he doesn't want to tank ever. Even if Thomas isn't playing, he's got these other guys playing the minutes for him and getting the scoring done somehow and holding down the fort. And that's a crazy thing. Jordy basically told Marks, I'm not going to tank this year. I'm going to win as much games as possible. Like, listen, I respect Jordy. I respect the heart, the hustle, the coaching philosophy, the structure. He is perfect for us to win a title. The thing is, we're not built to win a title at this moment, Jordy. We're not. And he's going against that system. Like, this is the problem. Jordy and Mark both have ulterior motives.
In basketball with Washington, like not win a title is an understatement. Like that's the understatement. Yeah. They're not built to even compete. But Jamal is correct. Jordy didn't even play CT and D'Lo together until in the fourth quarter. I don't know what that is. Like here's my thought. Here's your starting lineup, assuming everyone's healthy. D'Lo, Cam, CJ until he's traded, Clowney, and Sharp. I don't care that Cox is making $25 million. I don't care. I'm tired of seeing him. That's my starting 5. We're gonna play that 30 minutes a game. We're gonna play it together. We're gonna start with it. We're gonna end with it. And that's our best 5 players. What are your thoughts on that?
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's starting. Jordy just seems to make the pieces work. I've never seen a coach like this that has mixed pieces all working in harmony. I mean, look at this lineup last night. Jalen Wilson, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, D'Angelo Russell, Keon Johnson. I mean, going against Giannis and Lopez? Those 2 guys are bigger than 3 of those guys on the team in that starting unit, and they still managed to beat them.
That because the Bucks, besides Giannis, are god awful. Like Dame is shot. Brook Lopez is 5,000 years old. And this is going to segue us into what star we're going to get next. Is Is Giannis better off with the Nets than he is with the Bucks? Honestly, if he was traded to the Nets, is that a better supporting cast than he's got in Milwaukee?
Oh,
I'm
100
being
million.
serious because
No,
outside of Giannis, that
I
team
mean,
is god
seriously,
awful.
100 million spent. You look at Damian Lillard, man. This guy has never won a title as a main guy, and now a supporting guy. Even when he gives you some good nights, when it comes down to clutch, this guy's been less clutch and more of a passenger next to Giannis. To be honest with you, the Bucks are not 17 and 15 without Giannis getting him out of that 0-8 hole they were in a few weeks ago. He literally got them to the NBA season mid-cup based off his performances. Like Giannis, I respect about the guy is this. Yes, he has some temper tantrums here and now, but he's an ultimate competitor. This is last season with the Bucks. He told them, "I'm going out swinging. We either win a title this year, or if we don't, I'm gone. That's it." I mean, the Bucks have no moves after this. They have one pick left, and if you want to make upgrades, you have to get rid of Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, or Brooke Lopez, who are part of your core right now, which makes you even less of a team. So the Bucks really have no moves. They have the win with this iteration, which I don't. They're not going to win this iteration unless Giannis is Superman times 10. If they don't win the season, it's likely out. And Brooklyn, we're a destination for him, as CBS reported. If he wants to come to us, you already have Cam Thomas. You still have a lot of draft capital. Even if we have to trade for Giannis, you still have over 10 picks left to get maybe a co-star with them. There's more moves to make with Brooklyn because of our cap space flexibility and all the draft picks we have. And you have a young little rising star in Thomas right now. With the Bucks, aging vets, you have young guys who really aren't getting a lot of minutes. They have an imbalance. They have like almost no real flexibility left. Yeah, he would be better off on a team like Brooklyn or a team like OKC who could trade for him today if they wanted to. Like, I'll be honest with you, if they don't win this season, Giannis is likely asking out, and that's going to be the topic of this summer because there's only a few teams that have the assets to get Giannis right now: the Brooklyn Nets and OKC.
I want to get into that, but first let's talk about Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's been getting a little banged up a lot. Like he hasn't had anything that seriously sidelined him, but he's tweaking things and he's coming out of games. And yesterday he left on crutches, I believe was the report. It is Sean Marks trying to blow this thing at this point? Can we just trade him? Apparently half the league is interested in him. Can we just like look at the offers tonight, go through them, and pick the one you like best and negotiate there? Like, why is Sean Marks doing this? He traded Schroeder the day it became possible to trade him. Awesome. He traded DFS pretty quickly. Awesome. Cam Johnson is the biggest piece to trade. I understand he wants to get max value for him. I don't want to see him lose value for him because Cam Johnson is getting banged up every game now. Can we just trade Cam Johnson like this? Let's sit down tonight. Let's get on the phone. He said he hammered out the Lakers deal in 12 hours. You're on the clock. It's 2:30. Get on the phone. By 2:30 in the morning, you don't go to bed, Sean Marks, until Cam Johnson is traded.
I mean, Gary, how many times have I told you Johnson needed to go? A lot of times, right? And the last time when that happened, my heart nearly sank and fell out of my chest because Cam Johnson has been playing stupendously excellent. You think about this. He's hit over 100 three-pointers in January. It's only January. This guy's already got over 100 three-pointers made. He's shot over 51% from field goal, 47 from three. Overall efficiency is at a 61 clip. Like, this guy is arguably the best available role player in the league right now. Some people might say DeAndre Hunter, but the way the Hawks are playing, why do they want to get rid of him? And then Kyle Kuzma. Cam Johnson's the best wing on the block right now, and now he's hurt. Now you look at teams like the Kings, who I thought we had a good deal for. I thought Devin Carter, maybe an unprotected first and some seconds, a good little combination deal. Now he's hurt. Why would the Kings want him? The Kings need somebody right now. Johnson might not be able to play for 2 to 3 weeks. Basically, half the team that was interested in him right now, they all don't want to nothing to do until he's healthy again. And now we have to hope he's healthy by the deadline. Like, our job just got a lot more harder than need to be. But I'll tell you this, the one team that's probably not going to fret is OKC. They're 25-5. They're likely going to be over 30 wins by the deadline. So if they want to make an offer for Johnson on crutches right now, they can still kind of make a similar offer to what we want because they can ease Johnson into their system. If they're over like 20 games, over 500, they're not going to fret about getting him right now as he is. But all the other teams, why would they want him right now? Now we're in a pickle. Now we have to hope after January 15, when Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe of OKC become trade eligible, that OKC will still hammer out a deal for us. I still believe a first pick, maybe 2 matching contracts, maybe a late first, is still on the table, but I don't think Nikola Topic will be on the table right now. I don't think they want to give him up, but I still think 2 firsts and some salary from OKC still on the table. But other teams right now, why would they want him injured? The only team that makes sense for now is OKC, or we keep Johnson. Unfortunately,
Well,
Sean Marks has now put us in that predicament. Thank you, Sean Marks. Give him a round of applause, folks. Sean Marks is always right, guys.
well, let me push back on this, right? You know I'm all for trading Cam Johnson, but let me play devil's advocate right quick here. And we're gonna get to Zion in just a minute because that's the guy I'm okay with trading for. If we're gonna make a trade or sign an all-star caliber player, fill in his name, we can get to that. Is Cam Johnson a role player that you would want around that new superstar if we're looking to compete next year? Is it wise to keep Cam Johnson as a role player if we can bring in Brandon Ingram or Jimmy Butler or whoever? If Sean Marks' goal is to compete next year, does he keep Cam Johnson as a role player on this team behind the superstar?
I don't feel like that makes much sense. First thing about this, he's making over 20 million in the next 2 years. He's going to be 30 years old. You kind of want young supporting role players. You don't want it to be all vets with you stars.
Not if
And
you're
the thing
trying
about
to win. If you're trying to win
yeah,
next year, and Sean Marks' plan is to win next year.
But here's the thing, though. Johnson's injury prone, man. As much as we try to avoid, he's only missed 2 games this year. Proud of Cam Johnson. But again, this guy's injured. When he's injured, he's usually out for a while. And you don't want to win a title with a guy making over 20 million being on your team. And the thing is this, if we keep him and you want to get Giannis, Johnson and Claxton, those are contracts that got to go. If you want to just do that and picks, because you don't want to, Thompson don't want to go anywhere. But if you keep Johnson, Thomas is likely out the door with Claxton, then we're screwed. Is Johnson really a number 2 next to a Giannis over a Thomas? He's not. So respectfully, if you keep Johnson, my belief is you're going to trade him with Claxton and picks for a star. You're not going to keep him past next year to contend with a star. It would be illogical. I mean, it would probably make everybody who hates Sean Marks right now want him out of the damn city if Cam Johnson is the second guy next to a Giannis and Ingram. I'm not going to put him in the conversation, but a Giannis or hell, if a Luka ever asked out, like you don't want to put a Johnson next to a Luka, like it makes no sense. So if you keep him, he's likely a trade asset salary to get you a star. But I wouldn't see him keep him. I hope we could trade him by the deadline because his value is not going to get any better right now if you want more draft assets to go after a star eventually.
No, his stock is at an all-time high, right? He's
Yeah.
never going to get higher than it is right now. But maybe Marks, like here, I want to get back to Zion because I think this has legs to it. I think there's a chance that the Nets may pursue this depending on what they're asking. It's Sean Marks, bro. And I love Zion. I want him to work out. I don't. Here's the deal. I'll give you Ben Simmons expiring deal. I will take on Zion's contract, and I'll give you 2 first-rounders. I will give you the Bucks pick this year, and I'll give you my first next year. Do we have a deal? I can't give you more than that. Your guy doesn't play any more than my guy plays. So
you're using my deal now. This is the deal I proposed to Dylan, who said Claxton and picks is way better. But here's my thing: Zion's not playing. Who knows when he's going to play? He might play next month. But if he doesn't, Ben Simmons and a pick, we're basically giving you an out. We're giving you free cap space to decide what you want to do with your future, and we give you a pick to help your situation. They have all those Bucks picks, so the Bucks eventually might rebuild too. So the Pelicans are not in as dire situation as everybody looks at it from the optics, because they move off half these guys. You're going to get a ton of assets and be able to reshuffle your whole future if you want to. But here's the thing: if we're going to leave our draft pick right now up to fate, and we're out of top 4, and we get like a top 8 or 9, like a Trey Johnson or Boogie Flan, getting a Zion Williamson, as much as I've always disagreed about it, you'd have to do it at that point. You need a safety net. And as much as we all know that Zion right now needs to get healthy physically, he needs to get mentally more locked in, if we don't get a top 4 pick, just going after Giannis alone is not going to get you anywhere. You're going to need a second guy. So if you get a Zion to be a potential backup, to maybe holding out on a Giannis, and seeing what a Zion could do with whoever you draft, okay, that's a plan B option. We could talk about it, but still, you're risking, again, you're gambling on a guy who has injured hamstrings, a guy who's overweight, a guy who hasn't been a Duke superstar for over 4 years now, and you're hoping that that's going to turn out. Like, Marks is going to put us even more of a Russian roulette scenario because you're hoping that this guy will magically turn into an MVP. But, Gary, I might be up for it if we miss out on a top 4 guy. Like, you might need a safety net, and a Zion out of all your other possible options might be your only safety net at this point because his value is so damn bad.
I got some Ace Bailey highlights up going from last night's uh, 39 or 38, 39 points, whatever he scored last night. Absolutely stunning performance. This is what he's capable of, and this is what we're going to miss out on. Honestly, I
Hey,
don't
thanks,
see any
Gary.
path to us getting this at this point. So at this point, with that off the table, I'm just keeping it a buck. That's off the table. We're not getting the number 2 pick in the draft. So Ace Bailey is gone.
I mean, this is a crazy thing. Like we've had so many
do you want to just trade for Zion and try to make the play-in? Do you want to trade for because that John? This is not happening.
If we get Zion, I'm shutting him down because I don't want this guy to play to affect our draft pick. At the end of the day, he's a safety net. He's a guy that in case your draft pick doesn't turn into top 5, you rely on Zion to potentially maybe work with that pick and build something. Because what are you starting from? If you just get a pick and it's nowhere in the top 5, and you go after Giannis, there's no telling what that's going to entail. And at least with a Zion, you could still take your rebuild a little longer, but you're also banking on this guy being healthy. The only thing is 3 years are not guaranteed. So if he fails on our team, we could just get rid of him. But still, you're wasting away an opportunity there with Zion. Because if you know he's going to be bad, why take the opportunity? But if he's somehow good, Sean Marks might have pulled off something insane. But,
I'm for getting Zion and sitting him for the year. I'm 100% for that. My problem is, at some point, this guy has to play basketball. He never plays basketball, ever. He plays less than Ben Simmons. He doesn't play basketball. So, you got to get him on a court at some point. Now, he's got a bunch of years left on his deal. His deal's not that bad. If his deal's pretty good. If he plays, it's a great deal. It's $40 million a year, right? Which is, in today's money, that's pretty good.
Right.
He's got the same contract as OG, who's the third best player on their team, right? Like it's not a crippling deal. So if we could sit him, tank, and try to still make a run at Bailey, which may be done, that may be off the board. It might be too late for that. Next year, if you could rebuild with Zion and Ace Bailey, my God.
That's why you hope. That's why you hope you get a point guard because
next year, just entering his physical prime.
Right.
You got this guy and him. Like, my God, you're ready to go.
Yeah, but think about this: Yegor Demon, Cam Thomas, Zion Williamson. There's my 1, my 2, and my 4 right there. Boom, boom, boom. But at the end of the day, as well, we're banking on fate right now with our draft picks. The way Marks is playing this Russian roulette game. Getting a Zion would kind of be your last resort safety net that if your pick lands out of top 5 or, God forbid, out of top 10, Zion essentially is now your guy. And whatever this pick is, if that could turn into maybe a secondary piece, you build for 2026 or you don't. I mean, at that point, I don't know what's going to happen after that. Like, there's such a gamble with Zion, man. At the end of the day, you want him to be healthy, you want him to play, but it's the hamstrings, man. If this guy don't have healthy hamstrings, he's only going to give you maybe 20, 30 games at most unless a hamstring pops and then he's out for a whole time. Like, I understand, Gary, if we miss out on this draft, having a Zion as a safety net is probably better than nothing at all, but most people would say I'd rather have a pick in 15 than have a Zion with bad hamstrings and bad health. So it can go either way right now, but I'll tell you this, the way Sean Marks is going, let's not rule out Zion at the deadline, guys. Let's say Ben in a pick for Zion, and Mark still wants to go after Star next summer. I mean, at the end of the day, he's essentially telling us, I want to tank, I don't want to tank, but I still want to go after Star. So this Zion thing now, can't rule it off the table at this point. You can't.
There is apparently no trade market for Zion for obvious reasons. The reasons why no one is willing to trade for him are more than obvious because he doesn't play basketball. Why do I want him? And DJ is going to join us. Leave if you want in. Let me know. The link's up there. The reason why I want Zion is obvious because he's a generational talent. Like there's nothing. The league's never seen anything like him. Leaf. We got a full panel now. I got Leaf. I got DJ.
Hey, DJ, Leaf.
DJ, you understand why for 2 first-round picks and Ben Simmons, which is just a salary dump, you get why I would want to roll the dice on Zion, right?
The skill set, I understand. But in terms of just
Wait,
I
what?
just don't trust Zion, bro. Like, why Zion?
Because he's a generational. Because he's a once in a lifetime kind of talent.
But he's not even gonna like his in. He's not
You
even
said
gonna move
Zion?
the needle.
Yeah.
I mean, DJ, you saw what Brian Windhorst said today. Marks seems like he's dead set and go after Star no matter what happens with this draft. So if a Zion is the worst safety net you can get, I mean, what is our situation? Marks does not want to just do draft picks and young guys. He wants to go against the grain, get a start. And Jordy, he doesn't want to lose. This guy Jordy wants to win at all costs. So if he signs long term, why are we going to bottom out? Like, it just feels like getting a Zion now can't rule it out off the table because Marks doesn't want to bottom out fully at this point.
Jonathan, you're right, but it's like
Well,
you could choose
first
anybody
off,
else. Why Zion?
how did we go from Jimmy to Giannis, and now we dumb down to Zion? This shit is crazy.
It is crazy. I mean,
Like
this
this
whole
is
18 hours
ridiculous.
is crazy. What's going on here?
I
We
haven't
were under
seen
the
any reports
impression
of us
this was going to
engaging
be at
with Zion
least.
though.
We were under the impression this would be at least a year or two tanking. Now Marks is basically telling them, "I got the picks, I got the financial cap space. Let's go get a star, regardless of who we draft." But if you miss out on top 4, how can you justify going after Giannis and a pair with Thomas? This doesn't guarantee you anything. You need another young star at least to build something. Relying on one guy to carry you, it's not going to get you everywhere.
Nah,
Yeah,
Giannis
Well,
doesn't need
the
young
thing
players. He
is
needs ready
that
now players.
based on the fact that Jordy is not here to tank or not here to waste time with first 2 seasons. He's here to win. That might be the reason why he's trying to go for a star or like a young enough star like Zion. Zion is still what, 25, 24,
He's
25,
24.
24.
26.
He's not 25 till next year. Yeah.
Yeah, but at 24, he's already got 29-year-old injuries.
Yeah, that's a
So I
problem.
mean, I mean, the reality is, and I kept saying it, like, is there a guy that's been drafted in the last 3 years that can help forward the progress of this team and us continue to grow along with some of the young pieces on the roster that we still have and that a lot of people want to keep? Is there somebody that has been drafted in the last 3 years that can help this team and help build upon everything that we had coming out of the past drafts in the late first and the early second rounds?
Well, there was no one in this past draft class. So you're asking the
Yeah,
last 2
not this
draft
draft.
classes. Is there any John, DJ? You guys want to
Listen,
respond to that?
it's so confusing what Marks is doing. I don't know if you guys saw what Brian Lewis said yesterday. Jordy told him when he signed here, "I'm not going to tank. I'm going to win games." You know what he said? Go for it. If I was GM and my coach says that, I would have traded Dennis Schroeder before he helped us win 10 games. He essentially allowed Jordy to not tank for 2 months, and then he finally made a move, and now we're over 10 games, and now he wants to go after a star. Like, Marks has no backbone. He let the big 3 run over him. He let Mikal Bridges run over him and take him to New York. Now he let a coach in his first year have total autonomy over not tanking. Like, when is enough enough? When is the red line being drawn in the sand with Sean Marks? You don't know how to lead. Either Sean Marks is the dumbest GM that ever lived, or he's smart and we just don't know it. But the way he's going, how can you say this is smart and strategic when you have your cake and eat it too, going all these different directions at one time? Why can't we go one direction for one time, at least a season?
Sean
Let
Marks
me.
has Sean Marks has never had anybody that has been hired underneath him that he can't control anyway. Steve Nash never really wanted the job. A lot of people are just now
Mm-hmm.
figuring that out. So the reality is, everything going forward, like, it seemed like guys, like, they want to win and they know how to win, whether it be KD, Kyrie, or whether it be Jordy Fernandez. My thing is that, okay, if you need to navigate, if you want to navigate to something else, navigate to something else. But once this plan falls flat on his face, then you're gonna have to have a plan B or a plan C. And I think that's what the draft picks are for. I think that's what the free agency is for. I'll be honest with you. None of like we all, I think we all subjected ourselves to these picks because we got like 5 of them. We got a haul for Mikal Bridges. If we do that trade 100 times over, I don't think the Tangerines is agreeing to that shit. Me personally, they just wanted Mikal just to have Mikal. But at the same time, I strongly believe that everything that we have are plans, just in case plans. The draft is just in case. The free agency is just in case. The money that we got free agency is just in case. So we got to see what plan that we're gonna go with first, and then continue on with, and that's gonna work for us. Now, I agree with you. I want Ace Bailey more than anything, but I have to look at the strong possibility that they may not happen. So I don't know.
Gary, you're muted.
Let me bring Pete. I got my whole dream team here. I got my co-host John. I got DJ. I got Lee. I got the dream team here. Now I got Pete. Pete, what's up? And let me just Is the dream of Ace Bailey gone? Is that done? Ace or Cooper, is that done? And should we set our sights on trading for a star or signing a star?
The plan hasn't changed. I'm so happy the story came out. I, I've been waiting to fucking talk about this for the longest time. Dealing with people online, talking their shit, people that say they have information when they just read reports. I'm so happy this came out. The plan has always been to tank this year. Yes, Jordy in a way has, kind of inflicted some damage on it. And now that the story's out, I could talk about it. If the right player is available this offseason, they might make a move. They really might make a move. Even though you traded to get your picks back this year and next year, I guess leave again. You made like a good point. It's like kind of a backup plan, but I only think that's only for 26. I don't think this guarantees that you're going to get a star in the offseason, but there's a reason why we're making all these moves focused on the cap space. If the right guy is available, they're going to pounce. I don't think the right guy's going to be available, though.
Who's the right guy? Is the right guy Giannis?
I don't know.
Nobody.
Who knows? That's up to
No,
Sean.
I'm asking in the eyes of Sean. I'm not asking in the eyes of Pete. I'm asking Pete in the eyes of Sean Marks. Who is the right guy?
I'm not Sean Marks. I can't tell you. But if I had to take a guess, it would be someone in a younger-ish timeline. Like, I'm not going to make the move for Giannis. I don't think that would be the move, right? You'd probably want someone
Zion's not even 25. An unnamed GM said he'd probably do something stupid and trade for him.
I just don't think it's that. I think you want.
Come on, Gary. Why
you're
Zion?
gonna do something crazy, it would be like someone in the age of like 28, 29. You know what I mean? Like a younger-ish player. Like when we wanted oh my god, what's the guy's name in Cleveland that we were fawning over?
Spider Mitchell.
Yeah, Spider.
That's not happening.
You know what I mean? Like so in a timeline like that. Not him in particular.
I don't think it's Fox that's weapon Mike Brown. And Jordy's close to Brown. I don't see the Fox thing happening. And also remember the Rockets. All these Texas
Spider already signed the extension, so that's out.
No, he's not saying Spider.
I'm not saying Spider. Yeah. I'm saying
I get what you're saying, Gary. But like Fox already made it clear he wants to go to a contender, like a down team.
Right, so like, he's a secondary star.
I don't think the guy that we want.
You want somebody in the age range of Zion. The problem is who is out there in the age range of Zion.
That's the crazy thing. The only guy that's better. The only guy that's better in all the options is Giannis, but just like Pete said, you want somebody in the 27 range. And Fox, unfortunately, just kind of got a head coach fired who's close friends with Jordy. So it doesn't make sense to have to start next summer, but it seems like Sean Marks wants to do it if the opportunity presents itself.
John, it takes too much to build around Giannis. It takes way too much, bro.
No, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, it feels like this is what is building up because if the Bucks don't win, look at the Bucks right. They're 17-50. The only reason they're winning is because Giannis carried them half the way, but they're still not going to have enough to win in the playoffs. And if he asks out, Sean Marks is going to make an offer regardless of who else is available because he wants Giannis. He's had his eyes on Giannis for a long time, apparently. I mean, but still,
okay, this makes no sense. You're going to draft a top 10 player in this draft, and you have CT, and you have Claxton, right? All those guys are going to be like in 19, early 20s. So then you're going to get someone who's like 32.
I mean, Pete, look at all the options. I mean, it's Sean. There's one shot, Jimmy, Ingram, all these other guys.
He has to sign off on it, John. They're gonna let him like sign off on it because he gave them a championship. Like they value Giannis. So if he says, "Send me to this team," he's not gonna want to go to a young team, bro. That doesn't even make him better than what the Bucks is right now.
Yeah, well, this is New York, though, right? This is
I mean, regardless if it's New York or not, I mean, a superstar like Giannis has made it very clear he doesn't want to be on a young team.
But DJ, looking at the outlook this summer, those are the only two guys, Fox, Giannis, who make the sense. Ingram, Butler, Randall, Marks. I don't think wants to do anything with those guys. No, Pete, those are the main guys. Those are the main guys who I know for a fact will be available right now. But here's the thing, though. It doesn't make sense for us to go after these guys. Tanking for 2 years does make sense, but Mark seems like he wants nothing to do with. I mean, Pete, you saw what Brian Lewis said. Jordy basically told him when he took the job, I'm not tanking, I want to win. All Sean Marks said was, go for it. And the guy won over 10 games. Like, Marks, doesn't know how to control the ship, but he wants to make all these big moves. Because, like Gary said to start the show,
No,
Sean Watts
you're
always
so
wants to be
wrong.
right. No,
You're
PP,
I'm
how
gonna
he
tell.
wants.
I know
Sean
what
Watts
to
always
tell
wants to
you.
be right.
Yeah,
He wants to be right.
I
I'll
talk
take
to
to him,
people
and he
who
wasn't.
work for the team, and you're
I
telling me I'm wrong.
I want to get DJ and I want to get Pete because John, I know you're taking this, and I guess I think I know Leafs too because Leaf kind of gave me a crazy eye, but you get it on to Leaf. But Zion Williamson for the price of Ben Simmons' expiring deal and 2 first-rounders, Milwaukee's this year and our pick next year. We got 6 picks for Bridges. Why is 2 picks and an expiring deal, a salary swap? Why is that a horrible gamble for the Nets to take? DJ, I'll start with you, and then Pete and Leaf. I want to hear from you guys too.
Well, first, I don't think the Pelicans would do the deal only because, like you said, Zion is the generational talent. So, like, they're gonna look at it from a standpoint of we have the generational talent when you don't have really much. You have the draft picks, but you don't have the player to give us back. So, I don't think they would do the deal. And Zion is just, I don't trust Zion, bro. I never liked Zion. I mean, his game is good. But I just never trusted Zion. And I don't see him going into a new situation and changing up his game, getting healthy. He's not gonna do it, bro. He's not motivated at all to play basketball. So it is what it is. I would stay far away from Zion.
But I get what you're saying. Like, why would they make that trade? Because there's no market. No one else is offering him anything. No one else is willing to take
I mean,
a roll
we'll
of
be
the
in the
dice
same
on
situation like how we was with Ben Simmons. I mean, a guy that doesn't play, and when he does play, he doesn't really. When Zion plays, he doesn't. When you watch him, he doesn't really go his full effort, bro. It's like he's trying not to like get.
He does
injured.
on certain on select few nights, like against the Knicks. He likes
He doesn't
to
play
cook the
defense,
Knicks.
Gary.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, look, defensively, it's going to be tough for him because what is he? Like, what position? If I said to you, DJ, what position does Zion Williamson play?
I always said he was a 3. I don't think he's supposed to be at the 4.
Really?
If he's
Wow.
a 3, he can't shoot though. It's like, you know what I'm saying. He can only
But he has the
score
ball
in the
handling skills to play the 3.
He does. And that's what I mean. He's kind of an enigma of a player. Like I don't really know what position he plays.
So wouldn't you say that's a problem? He hasn't worked on his game.
It's a problem that he hasn't worked on his game. But even if his game gets no better, I think he's one of the 5 most dominant players in the game today when he's on the court. Top 5.
Okay, cool. So say after we get Zion, where exactly are we going? We got. I mean, who's gonna go play with Zion?
That's the fun question. We don't know.
So we sit him for the rest of the year. We try to tank out the rest of the season. Let's say we pick 6 or 7 and get Igor or Trey Johnson or someone like that to play with them. I want Bailey, but I think it's already too late
I
for
see
that.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying through the draft, you're just building up from the draft with Zion. So
Yeah, that's a strategy.
You're not bringing a Fox over here to play with Zion. You're saying
no. I'm keeping Cam Thomas. And
that's not going to get us a championship.
Okay, it's not. You're right. If I keep it Cam
we'll be
Thomas,
in the play-in though. We'll probably
and I get Trey Johnson or Igor, now I got something, right? Like, let's see what that looks like for a year. I got plenty of time with Zion. He's 20. He'll be 25 next year. I got plenty of time with him.
So do you, Gary? I don't know, bro. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I don't think anybody's really taking a gamble on Giannis. And if you want me to be honest, I think the Pelicans are going to be stuck with Giannis. I don't think anybody's going to really take a gamble on him.
You got to get his hamstrings right.
If the asking price for me is low enough, if I can get him for that trade, I can't do more than that because your guy doesn't play and he has no value. I'm the only one offering you like 2 lottery picks for him potentially. Like you want to, and I'm taking a salary. Like they could cut Zion tomorrow. His money's not guaranteed, but now you've lost him for nothing, right? So they want to move him. I'm giving you the cap space and I'm giving you 2 picks. You're free to go out there and see what else you're going to get, but you're not going to get more than that right now because your guy is losing value every day.
If you want to be honest,
then why are we paying two picks for that then?
Because you got to give him something to move off of him, right? Like they can cut him whenever.
Pete,
you got to give him something.
He's a generational. His talent, like if you have a Zion,
so why are they getting rid of him then?
No, it's because hold on.
He doesn't play.
He doesn't want to be in the Pelicans.
No. Hold on. So Pete, you're not going to take chips for Zion. Like it's just that's not happening. Like if you're the Pelicans and you had Zion, you really going to take a second rounder? Like you're not going to you're going to want a first round pick, bro.
Of course, they have like this whole
and I heard they want a prospect back.
Prospect, come on.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, they're gonna value him more than than what anybody else in the NBA is gonna value because they used the first overall pick on him. But the value that they see him with is not the value that everybody else sees him with, right?
Yep.
And that's the issue.
And the thing is this, though, that's your best low budget offer, picking Simmons. You don't want it. There's no reason for us to even continue talking about getting him in the offseason because they're probably going to want more in the offseason because nobody's playing at that point. But now they're in a season where they're dead last. All their guys are mostly injured or either coming back somehow. Like, if they don't want your low budget offer, I think that's the best window to trade Zion because if go in the offseason, they could probably going to try to up the offer, and nobody wants to play ball like that with a guy with bad hamstrings at the end of the day.
So let me ask this question, and I'll just go around. The Pelicans are going to be in prime position to pick. They're going to get a better pick than the Nets. At least their record would indicate that. What do they say? We're going to keep Zion. We'll let Ingram go. We'll try to trade Ingram for whatever we can get at the deadline. But we're gonna rebuild with Zion and the pick that we get. And let's say that pick that we get is Ace Bailey. I mean, would it be worth it for them to try one more time, try to score high in the lottery again, and pair Zion with whoever they can get in this draft?
It only would be worth it if Zion would play. You know what I'm saying? Like it will only be worth it if Zion was healthy, like 24/7, and played all the games. Well, if he played
60 games a year, it's worth it, right? I'm not asking for 82. Like, play 60 games a year. Why is that so much to ask?
But do they have another option?
The Pelicans asked him that, and he couldn't do it. I mean, they gave him. They told him they told him to give. They said 65 games. He couldn't even get past. I think what did he play? What did he play last season?
I'll go through. I'll pull it up.
He doesn't even want to be there though. At the end of the day, that's why he hired
there was one year he played, I think, 70.
This one game. It was one of the COVID years. Yeah, he played exact. Oh, it was 20. It was last year. He played 70. So I'll pull it up right now. Like, I'm a Zion guy. I like Zion, but I mean.
Gary, trust me, bro. The Pelicans have tried everything to get this dude on the court, bro. It has not worked. What's going to be the difference when he comes here?
Right, and the thing is,
I get so sick of that narrative, though, John. Like, when people come up here and say, or even on BK show, oh, it's New York. That doesn't mean anything. Like, these players aren't motivated to play basketball, bro.
Well, at this point, we don't have to give up anything for Zion. If we're aiming for a big star, there are bigger options than Zion at this moment. And the thing is this, he's unhealthy. He's got bad hamstrings. You're basically gambling away multiple picks for a guy that, if he fails, you just lost those picks for nothing, like Pete was alluding to. So there's no reason for us to do it. And the offseason is probably going to get moved. This guy hired new representation because he never wanted to be in the Pelicans to begin with. So if he goes somewhere else, it's probably a middle-tier market like the Charlotte Hornets if they want to make a move for Zion. But I don't see us having to make the move unless they accept the low-budget offer that Sean Marks just so happens to throw on the table because this guy doesn't want to tank fully.
I mean,
I want to get Pete in because I haven't heard from Pete. Well, let me address. So, just in his 6 years, he's played 29 games, 61 games, 0 games, 29 games, 70 games, 6 games. I mean, this is not acceptable. I mean, I get why there's no value for him. I get it. But, like, when he's on the court, he's 25 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, completely unstoppable, shooting 60% from the field. Like, it's like Shaq and Giannis and Charles Barkley all made this 3-way love child, and this is the end result. Like, the talent there is so unique and so crazy. To me, it's worth the risk, right? Like, it's 2 picks. Let's see what we got. Maybe a change of scenery helps. Maybe he can play 60, 65 games a year if he's motivated somewhere else.
Really?
I don't know, DJ. I don't know.
I just don't agree with that whole change of scenery thing.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, please do, Pete.
If he's hurt in New Orleans, what's the difference of him, not being hurt in Brooklyn? The body's not going to change. I understand, like, yes, it's a nice, talent, right? But the thing is, it's like getting another Ben Simmons in that you're really rolling the dice, right? And yes, if it hits, it hits. But, like, what are the chances that it's going to hit as he's getting older?
Right.
It's not. I don't think it's
because
worth the risk.
He's 24. He'll be 25 later in the year. Like, he's not. He's hitting his physical prime. If he was 25, if he's 28, turning 29, I'd feel a little differently.
Gary, as you get older, do you get more injuries or do you get healthier as you get older?
You get more injured, but he's not at that age where he's not
already hurt. His body's different than ours.
Gary, the only thing that
Gary,
the only thing that
said
could
it, bro.
save
He's
Zion
already-
is a treadmill and a salad right now. That's about it. If he can't get those two things working for him, I don't think it's ever going to work, no matter where he ends up. And it starts with mentality. This guy, ever since he came to the league, he thought he was bigger than everybody else, and then he got sent to a middle-tier team, and then he just dropped everything that he worked so hard for in Duke, and he hasn't done anything to really get it back. So if he goes to Brooklyn, you're expected to get back to that level. But the way we're at right now, he might just go, you know what? I'm getting paid. I'm in New York. The high life, right? You don't want to trade two picks away for that. You want a guy that's going to bust his ass if you take an investment on him. And Zion hasn't shown us the fight back yet since he was in Duke.
And he's already
Like,
dealing
listen,
with
wait, I gotta say
30-year-old
something really
injuries.
quick. So, like, we have this whole thing with the contract that's non-guaranteed, right? Would 20 million motivate you to work out and lose weight?
Well, look,
Right?
I was just tired of being a fat
he's not
slob,
doing
so
anything. He is
I
doing
worked out for
something.
free.
His body just
Yeah, he
needs
can't
to
do it
pump,
for 40 million. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
right?
He's already getting paid. I mean, the Pelicans paid him a lot of money, and it's still not even the
I
motivation.
want 20 million more, DJ. I need that. My kids need to eat.
Nah, but Pete, I mean, if you look at his contract, I mean, even after before this contract, I mean, he's getting paid a lot of money, bro. I mean, and he's not doing anything.
I think he's doing something. I think that when you're
Doing
like
something.
that big of a dude, bro, his bones and his body can't keep up with the weight. Like the years of like his body being in that form has done
Then why not
damage.
just
Like,
retire?
you know?
At
Why?
24,
Because
that'd be
he has a
wild.
contract. They're
It's
paying
not
him
wild,
millions.
John.
I'll eat a
Because he's
salad.
getting paid. Because he's getting paid, DJ. Like,
No, I'm saying I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying after the contract is over. I mean, you can't get on the court. I mean, I got a list of players that should retire right now.
He's going to wake up one day. He's a kid. He's 24. He's stupid. He's a kid. He's going to wake up one day and realize I pissed away everything. I could have been one of the best players ever. Now I'm 28. And, it's like a hot chick when she runs through guys. And then she wakes up one day and she's 34 with 3 kids. Be like, wow, I could have married a millionaire when I was 24. I blew the whole thing. Like, that's what Zion Williamson is going to do when he's 28. He's going to wake up and realize how much talent and what it could have been, and then he's going to want to play. The only question is that at that point, is it going to be too late? Like, that's where Zion Williamson is.
I don't know if we have that time to wait for him.
The only year, what was it? I think it was last season, right? That he played 70 games. Yeah. I remember that year. I think that was the year they withheld his money, and he just went out there and just balled out. Maybe that is the way. Maybe that is the way to deal with Zion. Just withhold with his money and make him go out there and play 70 games. But I mean, I don't see the Nets doing something like that, bro.
Yo, DJ, a salad bowl with a bunch of dollar bills on it.
We didn't do. Nah, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Let me get LBL. Let me get LBL on. LBL. Let me pose the question to you like this: is the dream of getting Ace or Cooper, is that done with? Is that too far gone? And if so, should we pursue a star? And should that star be Zion? It's kind of a complex question.
Yeah, I don't think it's done yet. I don't think it's done yet, but I think that, as I lamented all through my ex early this morning, right? That I think that he's got to get rid of Cam. He's got to get rid of Cam, and he's got to and we have to start losing. He's gonna have to start issuing in the directive. Because when I saw what Mark said about what John shared with me, what Mark said about Jordy, and I can't stop him from winning. He wants to win and all that. And I'm like, you're his boss. You could tell him only play these 7 guys.
John Marks is an idiot.
All right, I gotta talk over here. So I'm gonna give you guys a little context, okay? When Jordy signed up for this job, he had Mikal Bridges and a roster that he thought he was going to contend with. He was not signing up for a rebuild. Now you get offered that deal from the Knicks. Of course, you have to take it. Jordy's not happy about it. He's hard-nosed. He wants to win. So what do you do when you have 2 people that have to work together on opposite sides? You compromise. And this is what you're seeing now.
Then why did we trade those Suns picks? Wait. Then what? Why did we trade those Suns picks? Because the Suns picks are looking way more valuable for Houston than our own pick is at the moment. So why did we do that?
Fall apart?
Pete, I think most of us noobs think about this. Those 3 guys, Pete, they're the most expensive team in the league. They're relying on Kevin Durant. Pete, they're relying on Kevin Durant to Kevin. Bradley Beal has been a bust since he showed up in the Suns. And both
Nobody.
that
Hold on,
kid's
hold on, John,
confidence
John,
broke the
Jonathan,
face of the earth. There
nobody.
was definitely room
John,
to fall
John,
there
John, no,
when
Jonathan,
they
you
did
could.
all that.
People expected them to like lose in the playoffs and be bounced out in probably the first round. Nobody
They
expected
did.
him to be. Hold on. Nobody expected Bradley Beal to have a down year. Booker has been. I don't know what has happened to Booker. Booker is just looking terrible out there. He looks lost. He doesn't even remember how to play basketball now.
The problem is their depth was bad, and they're already over the second
nobody expected
apron,
this to
though,
happen.
DJ. They have no flexibility moves. And the way it's looking right now, Katie's the only guy giving them a pulse right now. So maybe trading those Suns picks away, maybe it was a bad decision because the way Sean Marks is looking at our own pick, I don't think he even cares what happens with that pick. I think he cares more about the cap space and the flexibility than he does a draft pick at the
I agree
moment.
with you. I know it's off top. I agree with you with the whole blowing up.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I would probably send KD back to the Warriors or OKC or something. But that's just me.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this
And
question.
Booker's overrated. I'm not going to
I want to get back to Zion real quick.
Yeah, I didn't weigh in at the Zion.
Go ahead, LBL.
No
and
pun.
I got a
No
follow-up
pun
question.
intended. But now, yeah, I don't understand. Like, we know there's basically 2 or 3 things going on with him, right? He has a weight issue, right? He has a weight issue, but he's a spectacular player once he plays, and I'm old enough to remember Charles Barkley at Auburn, who was teetering at around, 290, 300, right?
Yeah.
And then it took Moses to talk to him and say, look, if you really want to make money in this league, you're going to have to, get off your fat ass and, get it together.
And Moses talked him down 10 pounds at a time, and he got him down to a respectable weight. But Zion has
we don't have any guys like that over here.
Yeah, Moses. Yeah, let me cut you off. But continue, LBL. Continue.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is, and you're right. I think he is going to wake up one day and say, "Man, I really blew it. I really blew this career." But I can separate his weight issue from his actual play on the court. When he's on the court, he is one of the best. He's probably a top 10 player in the NBA when he's on the court. He's just not on the court that much. Now, and so if I were a guy that were pursuing him, I would definitely say, like DJ is saying, yeah, we need some weight clauses and incentives in your contract and everything. I know he has some already built in. But also, this guy needs, he needs to freaking see a therapist.
It's still not working, LBO.
And I'm saying, but he needs not only a dietitian, a nutritionist, but he also needs a therapist because it's just, we've known people who struggled with weight all of their lives, even with what's in the balance, whether it's a boxer, whether it's an athlete, whether it's a singer. And so they usually it's much more deeper than, oh, you just are lazy and you need to lose weight. So I think those are like the multi-pronged attack that you have to go at Zion with it. Is it worth it to you? That depends on who you ask. But I'm saying on the basketball court, he is a dynamite player. And I'm saying
he's not worth it.
Huh?
He's not worth it.
Well, it depends on what they might offer. It depends on what they might offer because he may be worth the risk of seeing, I wouldn't want to give up a 25 or a 26 pick. That's for sure.
Well, they did say they want 2 first. They did say something about 2 picks, and they did say something about a prospect. I did see that.
But
let me
put this out there, LBL. You tell me yay or nay.
For what?
Let me put this out there for Zion. Ben Simmons' contracts.
I would say
nay
and
2 ones.
For any. I would say nay for any 25 or 26 picks, unless they're the
That's
two
what they're
worst
gonna want,
picks.
though.
Listen,
man, get those picks for Zion, no sir.
Hold on, unless they're the 2 worst picks, because we have 4 picks.
Here's what I said. Zion for Ben Simmons, Milwaukee's 2025, and our 2026.
Our 2026?
Hell no.
No.
Zion? How about our 2027?
Okay, there you go.
We don't have a 27, right?
Oh, we don't? Okay, 29. How about 29?
No, we have a 27.
What about 29s?
It's Houston's, right? We switched with
Houston, it's Houston's,
right?
yeah.
All right, so it's Houston. We have the Knicks pick in 2027. So
I didn't know we had the next pick at 27.
Yeah, we have a 25, 27, 29, 30, a swap in 28.
And see,
We gotta
that's
get
what
more
I'm
draft
saying.
picks,
Why
man.
can't it? But that's what I'm saying. Why does everyone else get to dangle like a 28, a 29, a 30, and we don't? Why can't we assume that by 28 we'll be good, so it won't matter? You know what I mean?
Because we
That's
don't know
assumptions,
that
though.
yet.
We don't know.
No, we
We don't
don't
know. We don't
know.
know what the
We
hell
don't know. And
Marks
if
is thinking
Zion's
right
only
now.
playing half the games, we're not going to be that good, right? but I'm saying talent wise, he's worth a little risk in terms of, as long as it's not messing up our tank. As long as it's not messing up our tank, I think it's worth a risk. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any carte blanche like, say, Giannis. Giannis comes here at the end of the year, like we trade some picks, and Giannis comes here, and then the tank is over. But also, it's not just that the tank is over. If we're a middling team or something, it'll only be like a year or two before he's asking out again, just like
I'd rather
Durant.
have Brandon Ingram.
Nah,
Well,
I
I'm
don't
All right,
know.
saying,
that
I
was
don't
my
know.
that was my next question. Pete,
well, for me,
Let me get
I'd
you. I haven't heard from you
rather have
in a minute, Pete. Let
I'd
me ask
rather
Pete
have
real quick.
Zion. Good.
Let me ask Pete real quick. What do you think it would take to get Zion away from New Orleans? Like, not necessarily from us, but like what amount of picks or young players would it take for the Pelicans to move off of Zion and trade him?
I'm gonna help you and LBL out amazingly right now, beautifully right now. Okay, this is what you do. If they want, let's say, like they're hard set, they need 2 first-round picks. Then we do this. This is what the trade's gonna look like. Either protections, or even better, you make them conditional first rounders. Zion has to
Oh.
play 50%, 60% to get those first rounders. If he does not reach that mark, then they turn into seconds, or does not, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the type of
That
deal
was
you want.
smart.
Okay.
Pete just made the deal that should be made. There should be protections, conditionals. Hell, get a lawyer here right now, because there's no way that we should be giving that Pelicans team any type of unprotected first round pick for a guy with bad hamstrings and
Shit,
bad health right
John.
now.
Mitigate the
You
risk.
know they asking it for it right
Yeah,
now as we speak. They
like
crazy, bro. I don't know
like
who
that
that
made a
GM.
lot
I
of
don't know who that
sense.
GM think he is, bro.
Yeah, you ain't getting no unprotected picks for this guy. 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, he was a big deal, but the big deal is now the big, stomach. Like, we need
The
protections
big
on those
They
picks.
did
We need
this.
to
contract.
They did
consider
this
it.
last season too when they was
Yeah.
trying to move Zion at the deadline.
Yeah. And here's another thing. Even if Marks goes for another star via trade, don't just throw all unprotected picks. There should be 1 or 2 picks with some type of protection on them. Like, he literally threw 7 unprotected picks for James Harden, not one single protection. Like Marks knows how to get the chips, but he's willing to throw them under the table as soon as he sees one good
John, we all
That
know
star.
was a little
Sean Marks is
different,
an
John.
idiot. So.
That was like
I,
MVP James Harden,
no,
right? That was
I,
your
I,
value.
I understand, Pete, but now going forward, got to be smarter this time if we go this route again,
Well,
which
he's not
Marks seems
smart.
like he might.
The only way we're gonna have success is if Sean Marks is gone and Josiah is gone. That's the only way, bro.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah, because Josiah's not going to get rid of Marks, and we're not going to be good until Marks
Yeah,
is
they're
gone.
buddies too much, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, you
it's
pick
too
a
much.
GM over superstar. I mean, what idiot does that?
I just can't handle Marks letting people walk over him like this. Now the coach's first year gets full autonomy to not tank. Like, how do you just say go for it,
No,
buddy?
John. Did you listen to what I said?
I
They're
saw it. No, I heard what you
compromising.
said, and I just look at the actions. Jordy for those first 2 months was not coaching like, oh, I got to take my time, slowly incorporate guys, rest guys. He's been from the jump trying to win
Because
every single
his
game.
job detail is to coach the team to win. It's
Right.
not
But
to
what is
tank.
Mark's job, though? But Pete, what's Mark's job to do? To get us
Come
to
on,
our
Pete. I mean,
end
you could say
goals
all this
every
stuff.
And
It's
he's
season.
different from
doing
his
it by
actions,
trading
though.
players away, and that's why you don't see Jordy crashing out, because they
He
have
could have done
a
that
compromise.
sooner. If my coach tells me I'm not going to win these games, I'm not going to tank, I would have had Dennis shoot out the door just to make that team bad from the get-go,
Okay,
because at least we knew what our record could have been at that point. Now we're
can
Jonathan,
we
defying
one
Jonathan has a
odds right
point.
now.
Jonathan has a
Yeah,
and
point.
I'm just
let's
being
say
real.
but let me talk for 1 second. John, if I'm your boss, right? And for I'm just making this up, but we're doing sales. For us to sell more, I have to make you look like shit, and that's gonna affect your future contract. Are you gonna be happy about that? It's gonna affect your
Probably,
money in the
probably,
long
not,
run.
probably not at first glance, but eventually there's an end game where it's
But
all going
there's
to
a
even out. And
compromise.
I know, but
You
Pete, here's the thing:
compromise.
Joey's a first-year coach. He's not a coach 10 years like a Greg Popovich. And the fact he has this much power in his first year, first few
Yeah, what
months,
power does
it
Jordy
makes you
have?
worry a bit that Sean
No,
Marks
Doesn't
really
Jordy.
have
does
enough.
not have any
If he was
control.
Popovich, he would have the track history where he could tank, right? And no one, Popovich has tanked before, right, for Wemby, and no one said, "Oh, Popovich is a trash coach." If Jordy Fernandez comes out and tanks his first 2 years, right, and then third year when the Nets are supposed to win, he starts off slow. He's fired, and he'll never get a job again. Like,
wait, no,
Jordy
that's not.
Fernandez is
Hold on, Gary. No, you John is saying like, what power really does Jordy have? Like, you can say Popovich can go to the organization, so he say, yo, go tank for Wemby. They're gonna go tank for Wemby because he has a track record. Yes,
right.
But then if he says, okay, we got Wemby, now give me some players to contend with. Now, and you see what they're doing this season.
Yeah, and this is a great draft. Listen, if last year's draft was this year's draft, hell yes, Jordy, compete the hell out of your mind because it's a bunch of role players. We ended up with one good role player, okay, but this draft is way different than last year's. You have potential top 10 or 13 players in this draft.
We're not getting too bad. That's
because
We don't-
March
hold on,
let
that's
Jordy
not
run
true,
the
Gary.
ship the first 2
Whatever
months.
the reason is, John, that ship is gone. We're not getting those guys. Like
Gary, you
John
never
and
know
DJ.
though. You never know because we still have a chance to move. So you're saying we're gonna keep Cam Johnson?
I hope not.
Sean Marks
John
is
and-
possible. If
so
we're
John
gonna
and
bring
DJ.
if we're gonna bring in a star, I think there's a very good possibility that Sean Marks keeps
Well, that's
the
in the
star
off
there.
season. That's next season.
Let me talk for one
Keep the
second.
star there
I
to
just-
play with him.
to whoever that is.
Yeah.
Hey, John and DJ, I just want to get this understanding correct. So, are you saying that Marks, he shouldn't be kowtowing to a first-year rookie coach, and he should just lay down the law and say, you try to
Hell
win as
yeah.
much as you want.
Yeah, he's the boss. I mean, hell no. He's
I'm
letting
your
this guy
boss,
run the ship
and
his
I'm only
first
going to
year
allow
ever.
these players to be available to you. And if you say anything about it, you're fired.
I wouldn't say
mean?
no. I wouldn't. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you, but I wouldn't say fire him. I'll just be like, yo, this your first year head coach. You don't have no say so really over what the team's direction is.
Yes,
sure.
I
I'll
mean,
listen to
he
your
does
opinions.
have a
I can listen
direction
to his opinions and everything. You can, like how Pete said, compromise. Yes, I agree with you with that.
Yeah,
but
because
at the end of the day, bro, you his boss, bro.
Well, the reason I asked that is because I'm thinking, because for me, like Jordy has been great as a coach and everything.
But what has he done in his career?
But let me finish. But I'm saying he's been great as a coacher and everything. But we could find a great coach anywhere. It's like maybe
I don't know
Sean.
about that.
Can you? Because we want
LBO. No, that's not true.
I'm saying the question is
LBO. That's not true. Our coaching hire says different.
Maybe Sean Marks can't, but we can. Because I'm saying, look, what's the name was just fired, right?
Who should we get, LBL? Tell us.
Shit, I would have went out and got Mike Brown.
All of these coaches, Monty Williams is a competent coach, despite what went on in Detroit. So is Mike Brown.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
It is true.
Monty Williams is a terrible coach for a young team.
I agree.
With the Pistons. The Suns was different story.
Hold on, Jonathan. LBO. Monty Williams is, if you watch that Detroit Pistons team, what was it, last season? His schemes and his coaching and his adjustments was terrible. He can't coach a young team.
He didn't know how to coach Ivy. Remember how badly he coached the Ivy kid? Now the Ivy kid was playing like an all-star this year.
He can only coach like a Memphis.
You tell me
outside
of Chris Paul, how young were the Suns?
The Suns was like 20. They was like what, middle 20s. But that was different. They have vets.
No, but this is what I'm saying. You can work around all of that. What I'm trying to say is we have
when they had Booker and CP3, bro.
We have fans on here that think Jordy is the best thing since sliced bread. And what I'm saying is, if it comes to anything, it's roster over coach. It's plan over coach. And that's what I'm saying. Like if Marks ordered him to lose all of these games and Jordy's like, nah, I'm still gonna win them, then you got to get rid of him. But I'm saying, but the point is,
what players are doing that though? The players are playing for themselves also.
Right. None of these players have that autonomy to demand the coach get fired right now.
Well, you seen the Utah Jazz last season. They were winning way too many games, and they was almost. I think it was like they was. What did they pick at? Because they were supposed to pick higher actually.
They started off real hot. They won a bunch of games, and then they had to tap the brakes on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the GM It was a report that came out that the GM did say to sit those guys. So
Ainge is the GM.
I think they did get fined.
And that's
for that.
what I'm saying.
Sure. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta go.
Fun show today, Gary. Definitely delved into a lot of good stuff, man.
I gotta run now. DJ,
hey, I know Brandon Ingram doesn't move the needle, but Brandon Ingram has way more impact than Zion does, bro.
I got a live stream. What do you go, Gary? 1 second. I got a live stream at 8 p.m. tonight. Come through, y'all.
Okay.
All right. We'll do.
See you there.
All right.
I gotta take off. You guys be good.
Have a good day, y'all.
Peace.